Next up is Mel, and Mel is at the BFI, where she's using data and research to inform policy and practice and advocate for greater inclusion around representation in front and behind the camera in the screens industries. So Mel, welcome, and over to you.
Hi, thanks, Isa. Yeah, I think it's a really kind of pivotal time to be having this discussion. I think in the light of everything that's been going on, everything that's been going on in the last few months, it's been really interesting to see how it felt like diversity was moving off of the agenda because there were so many pertinent things to deal with. And actually, with the kind of Black Lives Matter movement, and just thinking about how we switched up the way that we worked so quickly to be able to work at home, it feels like there's no excuse to be able to say change is really slow. We're not able to do this in a kind of agile way because we were able to do that within a week. We were all working from home. So I think we're definitely shifting the way that we talk about diversity in that way, in that change can happen. You can sort of make interventions really quickly to deal with some of these issues. So the film industry is interesting because it's largely freelance, which means there's no regulation per se. There's no kind of HR or set policy. People work in a way that's kind of grown up over years and years. That often means working with people that you know. So increasing diversity can be difficult in that landscape. The BFI as a funder of film, as the lead body for film in the UK, tries to use its position as a funder and as an advocate to switch these things up. And some of the ways that we're doing that, as Cindy was talking about, was using data. So I really feel like we need data to be accountable. How do you know what we're aiming for? How do you know where we've got to go, where we've been, unless you have the data to sort of back that up and create a baseline? So other industries do this quite successfully, and I think we're really keen to kind of embed that in the film industry as well. And we do have targets on our fund. So again, the question is sort of, well, what does good look like? So I think targets are useful in looking at what other industries doing, what the workforce is doing elsewhere, what the population looks like, in order to see whether your industry reflects that or not. So we do have targets, and we're just about to set up a social mobility target as well, because we've been collecting data on that for the last year. We use all of those targets and that information to inform our policy and practice. So putting things into not just schemes that we sort of throw away and think, oh, well, that doesn't work, or maybe the problem is over here. Anecdotally, we think people need more training. We sort of look at the data to kind of highlight and target where we might have some intervention that might actually make some difference in the future. We also use our brand to kind of advocate for this work. So speaking to stakeholders, people working in the industry, studios, production companies, to talk about why this is important and how they might be able to do this work. And really, I think it's becoming quite clear that we can't do this on our own, that collaboration is key. So we need to bring everybody with us in order to be able to change things. And more importantly, things like this are really important because I think networks, you know, the industry works on networks. So whilst we're trying to change what that practice looks like, recruitment practices, how people do things differently, I think we need to learn how to use those networks, how the industry works, in order to insert ourselves into the industry. Get connected, find opportunities and work together, and also to support each other, because it can be really difficult and quite an isolating industry. So yeah, that's kind of what we're doing. I look forward to your questions and more comment later.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.